Hello, everybody, and welcome to Newcastle Fans TV for a quick fan call-in show. We'll go for an hour and a half, something like that, just to talk about Sandro Tonali and a few other topics. But, yeah, obviously the big news on Tyneside, Sandro Tonali, the most expensive Italian footballer of all time, which is crazy because you don't associate that stuff usually with Newcastle United, but it's here. It's official, man. And we've got a hell of a player on our hands. And here to discuss that with me, my guy, Adam, back on the channel. How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm all good, mate. So anyone who's not seen me on here before, they might think Sam's lost a bit of weight. And, it's not. It's Adam. I was on the show quite a while back. And, Lee begged me to come back to help the channel. So I'm here. It's good to see you, Steve. And hopefully we can get a few people on and just have a bit crack about Newcastle, really. So I'd encourage as many people to come on and just have a bit chat, really. It's Tuesday night. I'm sure there's not loads of viewers, but anyone who's comfortable enough to come on, just come on. We'll have a bit crack and talk about the two.
Yeah. So the link will be at the top of the comments. I'll keep posting it out just in case anyone wants to join. Don't really care. Just make sure you have your camera and mic on and don't do anything stupid. But yeah, I mean, we'll get right into it. Mike Elliott, and by the way, he is a member. Thank you very much, sir. Join the membership if you can. Join the membership if you can. 99 pence. You get to watch the aforementioned Sam Mulliner, Jonathan Greenwood, Lee Lawler, all them guys. We do member videos.
Don't forget little Carl.
And Carl as well. Yep. So we do a bunch of. Yeah, we do a bunch of exclusive member content, good stuff, and it's only 99 pence. Helps support the channel and all that wish-wash. But yeah, thanks, Mike, for being a member, man. What a signing by the two in Tonali. He will let Bruno go a bit more forward. It'll be interesting to see how and where he will play and with, because we have a few midfielders now who are the lads. That's the first thing I wanted to get into. My favorite thing about this Tonali signing for me is the fact that he just fits so well with our team. He fits really, really well with our team in terms of the personality of the player and what he's here to do. Because if you look at our midfield setup, all of our guys are obviously very comfortable with the way we play. Bruno can get forward, or he can sit a little bit back. Joe Ellington can sit a little bit back and go forward in the middle of the park. We just have this nice feel going on and an identity. It's I've been supporting Newcastle since about 2017-18, and I have an American here, my guy Jay, who's been supporting them a lot longer. But welcome, Jay, by the way. For the first time in a while, it feels like Newcastle have such a strong identity and purpose. And this signing, for me, it just fits right in.
Absolutely. Also great to see Adam. Enjoyed seeing you the other day for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
You will,
man. Cheers. It's like back to the COVID days. Listen to you go on again.
Yeah. That's a bit distant memory now.
Exactly. But this signing is, I think I posted in the Discord a few days ago, something like for me, this is since, 2002-ish, right? When I've been following, this is it. Nothing really in this league. If you look at what people rate as some of our best 10 signings, and, the Chronicle throws all kinds of junk articles up there about that. And you'll see, great things like the value of Ba, Ben Arfa, examples like that, and not that those weren't great signings, but for skill, age, ability to play in our formation.
The status is the thing that hits me, Jay. The status.
And robbing him from his boyhood club, right, that he only played for down the road, and then on after just playing for them in the Champions League. I don't know. You'd have to go back before my time in the 90s, I think, to really have this kind of punch with one of those great signings of the 90s.
Yeah. I mentioned Steve J just before we came on. I'm not like Steve or Sam or Lee, who watch a lot of Italian football. I watch Newcastle, who Newcastle's playing. So I don't know a lot about the lad. I've watched him when I heard we signed him against, when Italy got beat 1-0 in the Euros just recently, the under-21s. Do you feel that his heart is going to be at Newcastle United? You mentioned he's a boyhood AC Milan fan. You know, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to create a bit of a debate.
Yeah.
Does he want to be at Newcastle United? You know, I'm sure he'll give everything. Is his heart going to be at Newcastle United, or will he turn like another Bruno who will just fall in love with the club?
It's hard to say. You know, I don't think you'd have to be crazy. I bet even in his heart of hearts, he doesn't know the answer to that, right? You know what I'm saying? I think it will depend upon how he and Eddie get along, right? You know, early successes breed more successes, but how many players come to the Premier League and have a tough time to start with due to the the variations of the Premier League? I don't know. I'd like to think so. It seems like we have been aligned with him for a while, right? I mean, I love that our club is not public, so we don't really know what's going on. They kind of play close to the vest. It will be a challenge. He's got to be a little tired, right, after playing all these matches through the end of the year. I'm not counting on him to come out and, you know, carry the whole team, right? Are you guys? I don't think so. So I think some successes will help with that. But if things go sideways, you can always deal with that. But I would think our club, I don't know. I consider it a risk, Adam, but not a major risk, right? Does that make sense?
I don't think it's a risky sign. I think what worries me is fan expectation. It's obviously been a massive signing. You know, in terms of it's turned eyes around the world really that he's come to us. And not every player smashes the Premier League. You know, it could take some time. So yeah, I think I don't watch him. I don't watch Italian football a lot, so I'm excited to see him. Excited to see all this hype. But I do think we need some players. You know, I'm hoping he's the one who starts a lot more coming in, because it's going to be a long season in European football. So excited to see him, but let's just see how it goes.
You know, Steve, if I could ask you, I'm the same way as Adam, other than watching a few Italian matches with you. It's not like I have a lot of time for Serie A, and no disrespect intended. I can barely watch the MLS that I have season tickets to as well. So,
hey, you've got Messi over there now.
Oh yeah, and that's I'm going to go see him. A bunch of people are selling their tickets because he's going to get a lot, but I'm going to go see him.
A lot of money.
Hey, but Steve, I bet you can talk to this. I watched all the videos that came out over the last really 3 weeks that are on. You know, this is who he is as a player, and I see that he can play a 6, he can play an 8, that he can play both sides of the pitch. You know, if you look at his heat maps, it's a very diverse heat map, right? You know what I'm saying? It's left and right and forward and back. And I don't know, Steve, have you watched him play enough? Do you have an opinion about his pitch awareness as an 8 or a 6 for us? I mean, notwithstanding Bruno as our regular 6. Do you have a strong opinion one way or the other that you might think you'd see out of him?
So I've got
Steve always has an opinion. Steve always has an opinion.
Yeah, hopefully it's a right opinion, right? An opinion that is accurate.
Yeah, it is. So I've been Serie A is probably one of my 3 favorite leagues to watch. And so I remember this kid from back in the day at Brescia, 2018, 2019-20 was his first year post Brescia. And he actually struggled a lot his first season. He struggled a lot. I believe he signed for AC Milan. I'd have to check this with my Milan buddies. But he signed for AC Milan from Brescia. And his first year, he struggled a lot. Actually. Milan had Franchesi, who now is at Barcelona. Ismail Benacer also came from Empoli as well after a great AFCON with Algeria. That team battled with Inter for the not with Inter. That was it. That was the last year Juve won the title before they've gone on a bit of a trophy drought since then. So that was the year before they won the Scudetto. He struggled his first year definitely, and he wanted to stay so badly at Milan after his first year, which he really struggled. He actually dropped his wages from $100,000 to $50,000 because he was not good his first season really at all. So, but he really, really was committed to the cause and was like, you know what, I was bad my first season. I don't want to be moved on at all. I love Milan. I want to stay here. And so he actually dropped his wages down to $50,000. And for me, he's a model professional. He took it that first season for me. I think, like you said, he could play both a box-to-box and a 6. And it wasn't quite defined for me what his role was in the team. But in that second year, he took a step forward in terms of he established a great chemistry with Kessie, and he realized, okay, Kessie can be the guy that sits a bit and can take the ball to the halfway line, and then I can get more ahead, create damage. Rafael Leao also had a great season coming up on 2 years ago. So for me, I would not be surprised if he struggles initially just to take that possible step up, a sideways step in terms of going from AC Milan to Newcastle. What I would say is that in terms of the commitment of the guy, I don't question it at all. Because that first season, he really tried to. I think it was just a case of him landing his feet. The other thing that I would say is that he did not want to leave Milan. This all happened. This whole mess kind of happened because of Maldini getting sacked as their sporting director, and that really took every one of the players. They were shocked by that. Remember, Maldini was the guy who got everyone those pieces of the Milan team. Mike Maignan, who's now considered one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Rafael Leao, who's now worth 100, 120, 150 million now, and he was bought for very, very cheap. Same thing with Theo Hernandez, who they bought from Atletico Madrid, or actually it might have been Real, regardless. So they attracted and Tomori as well, obviously from Chelsea. Maldini also. I remember Tomori said Maldini called him up, and then Tomori called his father and was like, "Dad, I just got a call from Daniel Maldini to join Milan." And he said, "Son, you're a footballer now. That's how you know you're a footballer." And it was a huge attraction, right?
Sure. Well, I'm glad to hear, Steve. I'm just glad to hear that his path to success wasn't like the golden boy all the way.
No,
right? Because all of us fail here and there, right?
Yeah.
But the trick is to not let it destroy you. And so if you mess things up and grow from that, that's going to make you a lot tougher. And I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. So hopefully things won't go perfect off the drop here, then he'll be able to recover from that and get through. I don't think anyone has any doubts about his ability to play in front of Bruno.
Yeah.
And just be a better version. We have players that can do that now. He looks like he's a better version than any of those. And some of us in the comments here are talking about the other players that we need. Yeah, we definitely need a left back. We need more winger support. We probably need another striker. We need all these bits around him.
Yeah.
And there is nothing like a midfield 6 and 8 that are on the same page that just makes everything else kind of flow from that. And especially the way we counter.
Yeah.
I think for those in the comments, we're going to come on to talking about left backs. Me and Steve have kind of got a little agenda.
Yeah, I'm starring everyone's question.
I didn't mean to hijack it. Sorry.
No, you're good, Jay. You're good. We're bringing you on.
I think in terms of Tonali, if we're going to finish it off, do you feel it's an Eddie Howe signing or a Dan Ashworth signing or a conjoined decision? Because
I don't think Eddie Howe. I think
this is what it doesn't worry me. I probably sound negative, but I don't. What I like to think is that Eddie Howe had a say in the likes of Bruno, in the likes of Dan Burn, in the likes of even Chris Wood at the time. He had a say. He wanted that. Because of where Newcastle are now going, and Dan Ashworth's now been there a while, do we feel that Eddie maybe doesn't have as much as say? And I'm not saying he won't get the best out of Tonali. I'm sure he will. But will he have a say in most of the transfers now?
I don't think we'll know for sure, right? The club will never come up with that. But I'd like to think that the burden of him making the total find decision that he did before is off of him. And I would hope it is a consult. Ashworth leads so much credence to the concept of recruiting players, right? His history in the league. And he doesn't need Eddie to tell him what to do. As long as they're communicating, he's delivering the players he wants. And I've seen nothing, Adam, to indicate that it wouldn't be that way. And he sure looks like, I guess, Steve, he sure looks the kind of player that Eddie would want, right? To me, from the outside, he looks like, it's not like, remember when Joe Linton showed up and we were all like, wait, what is where, cool, 40 million, what the hell's happening, right? This doesn't
what
feel
is this player? What does he bring for 40 million?
This feels like we all look at this and we go, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So Adam, I don't know. I'd like to think they're communicating well, but I don't think we'll ever know, right? You know what I'm saying? I think they'll play it close to the vest. Are you concerned, Adam? Are you debating? Or are you concerned?
No, it's more of a debate. I agree with you. I think the way we're performing at the moment, you'd like to think that he's got to say. I think you look at Dan Ashford's track record at Brighton, and where he's took them. I know he's not there now, but they're absolutely flying. They're a dangerous team to play. But I think long term it could be an issue. I think we're a different manager. It could be an issue in this structure, this new director. Well, I think new. It's been a long time a director of football structure, but it's going the right direction. I agree with what you said, Jade. Tonali will be exactly the type of player Eddie Howe wants. But I do think Eddie Howe did really, really, really want James Maddison.
Do you? Okay.
I do. So I think that's where my point kind of comes from. I'm not saying he doesn't want Tonali. I'm sure he does. Sure. But I do think Eddie wanted James Maddison, and there could be that frustration. Well, that's who I actually wanted. But we'll never know, as you say. The club are very private, which I like. So yeah, we'll wait and see.
I feel better. I'm sorry, Adam, interrupted you. Go ahead, sir.
No, go on. No, done.
I was going to say, about the Maddison thing, I wanted him, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want him for how much we were going to have to pay for him. How about that? You know what I'm saying? So I think I feel better about Tonali at this 55 plus number-ish that we're hearing than I do about the great Maddison lottery, right? You know what I'm saying? I would have loved to have Maddison. I'm not even English. I still would have loved to have, a solid lad, for the team. But I don't know. I think I feel better about the Tonali lower price point, higher. I think there's a higher, top of the envelope, a higher potential out of Tonali than I actually think there is out of Maddison. But,
because Tonali is something that it's too completely a profile of player, because Tonali is a box to box, or he could sit in front of the back as a number 6 and progress play forward. For me, with Maddison, why we were looking for him is because goals from midfield was something that. Yeah. Joelinton actually did have a pretty good year. I think his best year in terms of goals last year. But I think most of those came off when he played off as a left winger. But, I mean, for me, I would have taken – I was looking more of the Szoboszlai route. I wanted Maddison, but I would have taken Szoboszlai. We got neither, so it is what it is. I do think we will look for an attacking midfielder, because I think that dynamic – the thing I always like about this setup from Eddie Howe is that we could put in an attacking midfielder for a Joelinton and have Bruno and Tonali, and we're still a very strong outfit. Or we could switch it up and have we could have a center midfielder in there, or we could have, you know what I'm saying? We could throw Willock in there and he fits in like a glove. Yeah.
So we're going to need squad players, right? This could be a long season.
Options. Right? It gives us options. And if we're coming up against a certain type of opponent where they're going to have more of the ball, Man City possibly, we aren't going to be on the front foot as much. You could have Bruno and Tonali sitting back a little bit. We could have a Willock going forward, a long staff for legs. Yeah.
I think if you're talking about signing another attacking midfielder, then that means ESM has to go, because if you look at who's been one of the players of the under-21s, he's a Newcastle player. People seem to be forgetting and overlooking Anthony Gordon and how much he's still got to bring to the club.
Yeah.
So I really don't think that's an area, unless ASM goes. If ASM goes, then obviously that's another video. Yes, we need to replace him. But I think Anthony Gordon looks good for England in that new position he's playing. Eddie Howe will be speaking to Lee Carsley about that. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that position. But
hey boys, I'm gonna have to. I got barbecue on the barbecue cooking a little bit, and my phone is sitting there.
4th of July, baby.
Hey, it's 4th of July, which we celebrate our holiday, and also from now on is the day we celebrate signing Italian players to my English club.
Yes.
So that's what it's about. Steve, I will see you and Lee in Atlanta in 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. It's gonna be. I'll come find you where you are. We'll have a big day in Atlanta. I'm super excited. It'll be a double header. How American. We just soccerized football. Yeah. Cheers, lads.
See you, Jay. Yeah, if anyone else wants to come on, I'll put the link back in the chat. I did also want to touch upon, because one of the other qualities that Tonali brings to our side, obviously, is set pieces. Set pieces. He can take free kicks for corners. He can do either side. What do you think, Adam? Should we be looking at him? You want to see him more involved in set pieces as well, in terms of Trippier? Because sometimes for me, I remember talking backstage. Sometimes for me, Trippier's quality on set pieces, it's not brilliant every game. And there are certain games, if he hits a ball a certain way early in the game, where it's just like, ugh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, firstly, I'll echo what you said first. If anyone wants to come on, please do come on. There's nothing to be scared of. Just come on. You know what? Either that, or we've got to listen to Steve talking for the next 50 minutes. And trust me, it gets on your nerves. So please come on. Come on, talk with Steve. But yeah, we mentioned before, Steve, before we came on. I'm not that fussed about Trippier set pieces. I think 7 times out of 10 they're spot on. So if you have 10 corners in the game, 7 of them are going to be usually on the nail. My concern is who's attacking them. We don't, the size of the team, we don't attack corners. It baffles me. We defend them really well, but God, we don't attack them. But could we make set pieces up? Yeah, I think Bruno can whip a ball in. Tonali now, it's very, if you're trying to, an opposition manager's trying to set their team
game plan against us.
Yeah, they know Trippier's going to take the set pieces, so it's pretty easy to decide, what they're going to do. So if you're going to mix it up and you don't know, it makes it a bit more, difficult to defend against us. So yeah, if he's got a good set piece on him, I wouldn't, just get it in there.
I think it just adds another string to our bow, because if you notice, when we especially free kicks, we'll have 4 or 5 guys over the ball already. Cher, Trippier, Bruno, and then we have Tonali as well. We've got a lot of guys that can bring in quality.
I must have lost about £500 betting on Botman to score this season, because the odds on him to score every game are like 20-1, and you think, oh, look at the size of him he's getting, and he just kind of hit a ball going that way. Yeah. He's great defending it, but he kind of hit the target with heat. So it is an area to improve set pieces. I think we can be a lot more dangerous at set pieces, especially in the Champions League, where teams can be a bit weaker physically. But yeah, it's a good option to have.
Yeah, good comment here, Mike. That's what I'm getting at. Trips is very good at set pieces. Tonali gives us another dimension. His corners are very, very good. And especially some of the long balls, statistically, Bruno from the back, like in that kind of playmaker, kind of that Pirlo-esque, sitting back, pinging balls out left, right to the wing or to Trippier bombing on. He is good at those. Bruno, statistically, I think is a bit more accurate. But again, that gives us another option in terms of when we're trying to build out from the back. Tonali can be that guy to sit back and ping balls out. Bruno can do that as well. And both of them going forward can do some damage as well. So that's the thing for me. It just adds. I mean,
to be honest, even if you're getting minimum of 25 grand a week, the minimum you should be able to do is take a corner. So all these set piece specialists, you should be able to put a corner in the ball. I hate when it doesn't beat the first man.
I know, you're a pro footballer.
It's my biggest pet here that you can't beat the first man on a corner or free kick.
Yeah.
Free kicks are a bit different. You've got to hit top bins, but corners, anyone should be able to put a corner on the penalty spot.
Il Corvo, kind of echoing your sentiment. We must have the tallest 11 in the Premier League. We don't win a lot of attacking headers. It's true. It's true. That is one thing that we could definitely improve upon, and Eddie Howe will know that too, because like we've come to know, this guy isn't like other managers in terms of, I'm Mr. Billy Big Bollocks or whatever. I've made it as a manager. He is always looking to improve not only within himself, but the squad and whatnot.
We've been fortunate this year. We've got a team that can actually play football. Fans may remember under Pardew, it got very direct.
Demba Ba and Van Arfa,
long ball, and we had good footballers, but we just missed them out the game. Under Steve Bruce, it was very direct. We literally signed Andy Carroll on a free to try and score direct goals, and it never worked. So yes, we're criticising the team for not scoring enough set pieces, but they've actually scored some brilliant goals this season playing football.
Yes.
So I think that's the difference in a way. That's why we're not as frustrated, because you look at some of the goals Isaac scored, some of the goals Callum Wilson scores. As a team, it makes up for not being able to score.
The Bruno diving header against Leicester. Yes.
Yeah, I missed that. I still haven't forgot that.
What's up, TJ? What's going on, buddy? Yeah, good point. We are playing so good football. Like I said, since 17-18, since I've been a fan, that was the easily the best year. It was a long days in terms of Ayoze Perez and Rondon up top. That was definitely. In terms of some other conversation going on in the chat, we could transition to what Mike was talking about and a few of the other guys talking about Harvey Barnes and some left back options. What are your thoughts on like a guy like Harvey Barnes? Let's say that Saint-Maximin does decide to move on. I think he could go to a Milan if Pulisic doesn't end up there because they need a winger as well. So I think that Dan Ashworth and also Maxi had a cryptic kind of Instagram post or two, not the first time in terms of that. What do you think of that? Let's say we get 30 million pounds, euros, whatever out of Milan. He goes and plays for them off the right, probably, if Pulisic doesn't sign for them. But we get in a Harvey Barnes for maybe a little bit more. What are your thoughts on that? A few people have been suggesting Barnes.
I think what concerns me in that position when you come to the amount of important games we're going to have is have we seen the best of Miggy Almiron? I think Miggy peaked last season in terms of
goal production.
And
even when he didn't score, he would have a good game. A really good game because he fits the team as well. Yeah.
I love Miggy. I just think we need someone better. Harvey Barnes. Yeah, possibly. But I'm very, very reluctant to sign players who come from relegated teams.
I mean, to be fair, Manchester United signed Roy Keane from Forest.
I can hear my voice.
What was that?
I can hear my voice echoing, that's all. I don't know if it's coming off your screen or what.
No, I didn't hear any echo. There are some shots for Chilwell. And then obviously Kieran Tierney is another one where possibly. Who would you go for in terms of a left back, possibly?
I love Dan Burn. Keep Dan Burn there. He's an absolute legend. Anyone gets past
Keep Dan Burn.
No,
He's from Blythe. He's from Blythe.
We do need cover. Matt Target gets a lot of stick. He's been injured half the season, which I don't think is fair. You get people coming on saying, "Oh, you shouldn't fall in love with a lone player." The lad was exceptional for us. He's just never really been fit since we signed him. In terms of a left back, I'm a bit on the spot.
Chilwell at Chelsea is an interesting one, but the thing is, the injuries worry me with Chilwell. The injuries really worry me because he was a cracking player at Leicester when Chelsea signed him. I just feel like he hasn't kicked on from it, and that partially has to do with the injuries. I'd probably rather not. With Tierney, I think it's actually not as bad as people think. I actually looked at it the other day. Zinchenko for Arsenal actually missed a few more games in terms of being available than Tierney did this year.
I just can't see Arsenal selling to us for unless it's ridiculous money. Teams are scared of selling good players to us.
Unless Tierney wanted to move because he is Scottish and move up north.
But, you wouldn't. For me, I wouldn't pay more than 15, 20 million for him because you're not going to get that output every season. So for me, I'd have him for a reasonable price, but I just can't see Arsenal selling to us because we could chase Arsenal next season. That's why I don't. All these top teams are swapping players. Kovacic going to City, Mason Mount going to Man United. I don't get it. It's crazy.
Yeah, the Man United. I think that's a terrible transfer for the money. For the money, that's just not. Yeah, is what it is. Let them waste their money. Adam, what do you think of this? Who do you think should be the first team striker? Wilson.
Isaac. Not really much of a debate for me. I love Wilson.
Yeah,
but Isaac, what a player.
Do you like Isak more as centrally or off the left?
No, centrally. I think he's the danger he can pose. He can strike from anywhere.
He drifts off to the left anyways when he plays a striker. I mean, that was the goal, the goal against Everton where he dribbled past everyone, or not the goal.
Yeah, I think you could trust him to say kind of just, he's one of them players you can kind of say just go out and play football. Don't worry about your positional skills. He gets in. I remember the goal against Southampton, which their keeper messed up with his run behind the defenders. It's moments like that. Yeah, I love Wilson. Honestly, I do. I absolutely love Wilson. But if you're asking the question, Wilson or Isaac, it's not a debate. Isaac is going to hopefully stay at Newcastle for a long, long time and score a lot of goals.
Yeah. No, we haven't seen. I've never seen anyone as freakishly talented as what's his name as Isak at Newcastle. Absolutely phenomenal player. We do got Lewis also on. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm just popping on quickly before I go into Peter's stream.
Nice.
You're not dumping us for that.
What?
You're not dumping us for that.
Well, he's asked me to go on from our best top 5 managers for Newcastle.
Fair enough.
Well, good luck.
I know.
What do you think in terms of? I'll ask you quickly about Christian Pulisic. I don't think we're in the discussion for him anymore. I think Pulisic has mainly been linked with Olympique Lyonnais and AC Milan.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take him though? Pulisic at Chelsea, Captain America.
I would have him, but obviously just as a backup player for one
To the left. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the only position for me he plays well. I've seen him play because I watch obviously the U.S. men's team. I've seen him I've seen him played at Chelsea as for the U.S. and Chelsea. I've seen him played as a striker, a false 9, a right, left wing back. It's like for me, the only time he's been consistently good for club or country was off the left wing, and for me that is something.
You don't want to be signed any Americans. They've got no backbone.
Fair enough.
Well, might as well get Bob Bradley in as assistant manager. Get Bob Bradley in here.
Oh no, thanks. No thanks. He just got sacked from Toronto FC. Nah, man, not for me. But yeah, Teo Hernandez from AC Milan could be a great left back option as well. Lewis, I was just going to ask you about Sandro Tonali in terms of we'll go back to the minute just to get your opinion on it, man. What do you think of this signing? Just talk to me about him. Well, have you watched any highlights, or have you watched a Milan game or two, or Italy?
Yeah, I watched the only time I really watched him was the semi-final against Milan and Milan
Champions League. Yeah, I believe he hit the post in the second leg.
Mm-hmm.
Tonali, I believe he hit the post. He was all right in both of those games. So talk to me about him.
I think that this signing for Tonali is a statement signing. This is so we are, excuse the French here, but we are fucking here.
Yeah. You say that, man. Hey, say it with chest, baby. That's what's up.
But crap in hell! I just knocked me prime over.
That's all right. Sort yourself out.
Yeah, but it's fine. But obviously with that, obviously everyone knows chants and I made a chant. You know that song with that. You know, that's Tonali.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the song's called. But it was like.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
What do you like about Tonali? What do you think he adds to our team from what you've seen of him?
It's a good time to come on because he's 23. He's hit his prime.
Yeah. Close to it.
And obviously, he was going to help Bruno push up slightly. Bruno can play in a higher role.
Tonali can also play box to box as well. So it gives us that option. Yeah, set pieces. Do you think we overpaid for him? Because I saw some salty Spurs fan online claiming that we were quadruple overpaying for him, which is pretty funny considering Spurs have bought Ndombele for 65 million.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a bag of crap for them, so I think that's pretty funny. I think we might have overpaid by about maybe 10 million or something.
But so be it. Yes, so
exactly. To get a good player in the building, that's what you got to do sometimes. Mm-hmm. I mean, people thought we overpaid for Isak. Where are those people now?
They're hiding because they're embarrassed.
Exactly. So
Lewis, who do you feel? Probably Tonali, Bruno. Who plays alongside them in that free midfield?
Longstaff.
Ooh.
Where's Big Joe go?
So Joe Wellington off the left.
Maybe. If they say we could play oh, hang on, how can we do this?
It's a good problem to have. It
is a good problem.
That's the point.
Yeah, because I think
every fan will think something different. Because see, me personally, I love Joe Willock in there. People love Joe Litton in there. People love Longstaff in there. It's a brilliant problem to have for once. We don't have Jeff Hendrick anymore. Players like that, it is a good problem to have.
Yeah. It's crazy, and I still love having this bloody badge on the shirt.
I know. It's been a while, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember being in the Champions League. This was the first year for me. Remember being in the Champions League. I'll be 20. Hang on. Yeah, I was born in '99. Yeah.
Have you forgot how old you are?
Yeah, I always forget.
So wait, you're 23, 24?
Well, I was born in '99 in August, literally when the season starts.
Let's see, you'll be 24 in August.
Hang on, I'll go and get my calculator.
Yeah. But you know me, I always forget in that. It's like,
no, I'm only joking.
But it's just crazy, and that, as Newcastle fans, like obviously so I'm moved on for a bit for a second. But that first night at St James Park with the Champions League under the lights, oh my God, that is gonna be.
It's
gonna be goosebumps.
So Lewis, who do you want? Who do you want in the group?
Oh, AC Milan.
Yeah, bring it on. So that would be in pot 3, and then in terms of pot 1, you'll go for the domestic champions and the champions of the Europa League, and obviously, well, we can't play Man City because we're in pot 1. So we could get a Sevilla is in pot 1. I believe Feyenoord is in pot 1. I believe Barca. Barca's in pot 1 because they won their league. We could get a Bayern München. They're in pot 1. Who do you want?
Bayern München.
So Bayern and then AC
Milan. We need Dortmund. If anyone watched Lee's thing on John Sinclair's show last night, we need war flags v the yellow wall. Simple as it.
Yes.
And the thing is with that, whether you're in Dortmund yourself or people who can't afford to go, watching that on telly will be an emotional moment for Newcastle fans who've been fans for the club for a long, long time, because we have been nothing of a club for a long, long time. So yeah, watching us somewhere like away at Dortmund, even having them at Newcastle, will be an absolute privilege. So yeah, for me, Dortmund, and then the rest I don't really care.
Like,
would you have Barca? Because that'd be.
The thing with Barca. The thing with Barca that's interesting is they're temporarily not at the Camp Nou. They're actually at a littler venue in Barca because the Camp Nou is undergoing renovations for the next, I believe, 2 seasons.
Yeah,
so we're actually going to be at the Barcelona Olympic Stadium. It's about 45,000 capacity, so that could be interesting.
And I think with Barcelona is that I personally wasn't there because I was a bit young, but I've got friends who went to Barcelona in about 2002. So we've done that. That's a tick. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be great. Of course it would. But I'd love to play a team we've never, I can't remember last if we ever played Dortmund or ever have. But how Dortmund's atmosphere is, they don't rip you off for ticket prices.
Top class, yeah.
So, anyone.
I know this is like, would you have Celtic or Rangers? Like, it won't be it'd be easier for fans to travel. We can travel on the day and travel back down on the day. It won't be.
It'd be like playing the dog and duck, playing them. Oh no, none of them for me, Lewis. Sorry. If we got the Champions League and had to go to Glasgow, I'd be absolutely devastated.
We could, for example, we could play a team in Ireland if they get through into
Shamrock Rovers, someone like that. Yeah, they would actually no, we wouldn't because they would be a pot 4 team, and we can't play someone. We're a pot 4 side. So in pot 4, you've got the likes of Real Sociedad, Lens, Union Berlin from Germany. And then it's going to be a bunch of the first qualifying round playoff winners and whatnot, which is coming up actually next week. Check out NFTV for watching.
I think as Jackie says there, I think Real Madrid would be my second one as well.
Aye.
Given how many finals they've been to recently, it's mad. This time a couple of years ago, we were talking about Jeff Hendrick playing up front on the channel we were. To be talked about this is just absolutely unbelievable.
The only champions I thought we were going to be talking about was us winning the championship. I picked us to finish bottom pretty much all 5 years I've supported Newcastle. I picked us either bottom or barely surviving or bottom 3. So I this is a nice problem to have. Like you said, Mike's up in Scotland. You disrespecting the Scots there, Adam. Come on, man.
I'm not disrespecting the Scots.
I know.
I'm disrespecting the football, not the Scots. I love the Scots, but the standard of football isn't what I want to play in the Champions League. That's my point.
But you don't want 3 points?
I just want Newcastle fans to have the best experience they possibly can. Yeah. And we're going to Rangers next week or the week after.
Yes, friendly.
That's a pre-season game. That's fair enough, but not in the Champions League.
I'm going to the Gateshead Newcastle game.
Gateshead, yeah. Is that this week?
The 15th.
Well, I think we've got Lee from the channels going.
Aye.
I don't know if he's going Rangers to Gateshead or Gateshead to Rangers, and then flying to America a few days after. He's absolutely crackers. So yeah.
Yeah, I know he's going to meet Chief from Atlanta.
Yeah, look out for all Lee's vlogs because Lee's literally going everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sam's probably trying to get a bite out of me, but
yeah, he is. He's trying.
He got John Sinclair's washer out of him.
All right, Sam.
So.
That's funny. That's funny. Isak scoring a hat trick against Barcelona, Tino Asprilla style. Can't wait. Ooh, yeah, that would be nice. That'd be nice. I have a question. All right, Lawrence coming in with a question here. Thanks, buddy, for the question. Evening, guys. What would be your dream signing after Sandro Tonali? Mine would be his old teammate at AC Milan, the Portuguese left winger Rafael Leao. What would be yours, Adam? Dream signing. Pick of the bunch.
I've honestly said this for a long, long time. I'd love us to get Hamza Chowdhury on loan just so we can say we've afforded the loan fee eventually. I swear to God, he doesn't have to play. That haunted me for free transfer windows, not being able to afford Hamza Chowdhury.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So to get Hamza Chowdhury on loan, just to say he's there, that would make me realise that we're.
Does he even play? Is he still out?
Yeah, I'm only joking. To be fair, I really hope he's going for Declan Rice. I know he's probably going to Arsenal now, but I thought
it's kind of stalled. It's kind of gone quiet the past few days.
It has, but I think it's either going to be them. I think that's more of the pay structure rather than the deal not being done. So I would have loved Declan Rice. I thought the fans could have worshipped him up here, and I thought he would have done a really good job. But who's available now? Oh, it's a tough one because you want to be the right fit for the club, and
in a position that we need.
Yeah.
So actually, you know what? What's a right wing? Because you said you would take an upgrade on Miggy Almiron, a right winger. Anyone come to mind?
So yeah, I hate being put on the spot because I tell them memory.
Yeah.
You can go to Lewis first, and then I'll come back.
Go for it, Lewis. Dream signing. Pick
anybody who's. I'll say somebody who's won the World Cup, like somebody from Argentina.
Oh. Could get Otamendi from Benfica.
Yeah.
I actually would take that, to be fair. I would take that because he could play as a backup center back. It only makes us stronger. You don't have to start. Leader, experience, something different.
I would sign a young lad who's only about 18 as well, who can be upcoming as well.
If you want someone from Benfica that's young and upcoming, Antonio Silva at right center back. Antonio Silva. That would be the guy for me. He is going to be a superstar, an absolute superstar. I watch a lot of Benfica. That kid, the kid was ridiculously good this year in his breakout season for Benfica. Extremely good on the ball, defensively, pretty sound positionally. I think that guy he's going to be something special. That could be someone like that if you're looking for that. Julian Vets, Leverkusen.
Dream signing Vinicius Jr. there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. How much would you pay? Top dollar. How much would you pay?
Me and what I've got in my bank on Newcastle because I've got about 20 quid in my bank at the minute. You're talking
70 million pounds.
80-90 million, really.
Yeah.
It's probably what's going to cost. If not,
I would just do a blank check. I don't really care. I don't really.
And also, I was signed the goalkeeper from PSG, same age as me.
Donnarumma?
Yeah.
You signed Donnarumma. Oh, okay. I kind of see that.
Because he's young. He'd be the same age.
24.
24.
Yeah.
Lewis, you didn't know how old you were 10 minutes ago. Now you know the players you want to sign.
But obviously, Donnarumma and just 1 second. I can hear myself in the background.
Hey, you're good. You're good. Take your time, buddy. No
But
worries.
I love him because
Yeah.
he wears the number 99 shirt.
Ah,
Like,
okay.
that's my number.
You know, Bradley Wright Phillips did too for the New York Red Bulls. You want to sign him?
Nah.
Fair enough. Yeah, João Mario. I think that's Lee on the NFTV account. João Mario was terrific for Benfica last year. Absolutely terrific.
It can't be Lee. It's spelled right.
Yeah, true. Hey, super chat coming in. Thank you very much for the super chat, Lesonator. Appreciate it, buddy. If you want to throw in a super chat, obviously we'll read your comments straight away. And you're a member as well. Thank you very much, sir. We should buy Chowdhury and then pay Leicester £1 million a season to take him back on loan. Send a real message. Do
you remember that January? All January we were linked to Hamza Chowdhury on loan. We couldn't afford the loan for him. Mad.
That was hilarious. And that was the window we only bought Willock, right?
It was every window. It was every window for about 10 years.
Yeah, it was. Guerrero. Okay, so Guerrero's already signed with Bayern München. He already signed for Bayern. Chiesa. Okay. Would you guys sign Chiesa? Because obviously Juventus, the problem, so the reason why these links are coming up with Federico Chiesa, Allegri is going to be playing next year a 5-3-2, and that doesn't suit Chiesa at all. In terms, because he's an out-and-out winger. And they also did sign Tim Weah, who could play as a wing back. So he might be leaving, actually. Would you guys take Chiesa?
For the right price.
Never heard of him.
Really? Did you not watch the Euros? Not the Euros, the U21, the Euros that you bottled against Italy, the final.
Yeah, but I watch England. I don't really take much notice of anyone else.
You played Italy. And Chiesa played. You don't remember?
Steve, you know me, I'd had about 12 cans by the time the game had kicked off, so never mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Never remember who players are. But if you say he's good, sign him.
The only reason why I worry about Chiesa is because he had recently an ACL, or it was one of those, it wasn't a hamstring, it was something pretty bad. He missed a lot of the season for Juventus. Sam Muller loves Chiesa, absolutely loves him. And you know what, to be fair, Isak worked out brilliantly, and Tonali probably is. So maybe he's just got that special charm. Shout out Sam, but I at the right price, I would take a gamble. I don't know about you, Lewis. Would you take Chiesa?
Why not? If it just helps out with squad depth as well.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because we know we're going to struggle this season. I said this to my friends. I just want Newcastle to concentrate on the Champions League and the Premier League. I don't care about the FA Cup and Carabao Cup.
Oh,
really?
There, kid.
Really? You don't want to get greedy, Lewis? I don't. Okay.
I'm going now. Come on. I have to go because Peter's
That's
on.
all right, Lewis.
1 second, Peter.
Go away, Peter. Go away, Peter. He's on our
Petey
show.
Proudlock. Yeah.
On TV as well. See you later.
Take care, Lewis.
See you, Lewis.
Peace out, buddy.
Can't believe we're being dumped at Proudlock, mind.
Yeah. It happens, man.
Need some new presenters. He wouldn't have done that for Sam and Johnny, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Chiesa, Mane, or Mitoma would fit really well. Now, Mane, are you familiar with Sadio Mane? Former Liverpool. Would you take him?
He played in England, but Sadio Mane just doesn't fit into our wage structure, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he's done it for years. Southampton, Liverpool, he's done the business. Didn't work out from it. Where's he been? Bayern? Has he been at Bayern?
Yeah, he had a terrible year. Injuries really.
I just don't feel it fits in our weight structure or atmosphere in the dressing room, really. Yeah, great player, but I just don't.
And he wouldn't be available for because AFCON, obviously. AFCON, the African Cup of Nations, is in January, so you'd be leaving for that.
Yeah, well, I remember about 10 years ago we lost about 8 players to that. So.
Yeah. Cisse, Demba Ba, midfielder Tiote.
Half the squad, Tiote went.
Cheap Tiote, yeah. True.
I'm sure even Jack Colback went to play for someone at the time just to get a game of football.
Mane would be on huge wages and 31 not happening. I probably wouldn't really take him either. I would have taken Firmino. I would have taken Bobby Firmino because obviously
it's the same argument, Steve. Really, wrong age bracket of whoever just said in the comments.
No, but to be fair though, Trippier wasn't technically in that age bracket. Same with Dan Burn, your boy.
But Trippier and Burn, as you mentioned, both were brought in to raise the dressing room as well.
During the relegation battle.
Dan Burn's known for being a character in the dressing room. Trippier's known for being a leader. You know, he's captained England before. So that's why Trippier was brought in for his experience. And he's excelled more than anyone for Trippier would. You know, I never realised how good the man was. So, yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Sam, Newcastle Fans TV. Steve talked to me about Gonçalo Inácio. Adam talked to me about our mate Mass. I'll do my bit first in terms of Gonçalo Inácio. For Sporting, they play in a 3-4-2-1. I've only seen Inácio. I forget for Uruguay. I don't really take too much stock of international, just because Maguire looks like a decent center back for England, and that's not the case in club football. In terms of for Sporting, in Portugal, in a back three, I think he's really, really, really good. I would take him at Newcastle. Yeah, I would just wonder if, in terms of, could he play in a back four? I'm trying to remember if Sporting played with a back four this season. But from what I remember, under Ruben Amorim, it was a back three. Him and Sebastian Coates, and obviously the other lad at the back, who I'm blanking on his name now for whatever reason. They played in more of a back three, but I like Inácio a lot. But I wouldn't be surprised if he goes somewhere else. Maybe a Juventus, because they play with a back three, but they're kind of strapped for cash. I would take Inácio. And then Adam, do your talk to you about your mate Mass.
I mean, the thing about Mass is me and Mass. I don't know if we started the live watch-alongs on NFTV. I can't really remember, but we started doing them together. And one question and Steve Bruce was in charge at the time.
Oh.
So me and Mass had to do watch-alongs, and it was during COVID. So obviously there's no crowd there.
Yeah.
And it was just me and him, the odd person who used to pop on, and it was painful. And one question always used to get asked, was who would you take to replace Steve Bruce? And none of us said Eddie Howe. But what we used to get a lot of comments was people saying, "Oh, let's get Eddie Howe and let's get Eddie Howe." And we always used to talk it down, saying, "No, he's not good enough, blah, blah, blah." And I wish I could watch some of them videos back and people who were commenting kind of laughing about Eddie Howe to see where we are now.
Yeah.
You know, so me and Mass did loads of like videos like that, and he'll say if he ever can come on, how much Eddie Howe was getting slated off fans. You can't have Eddie Howe, you can't have this.
I was on board with Eddie from the start, to be fair. I
was skeptical in terms of I didn't realise how much he'd improved. But yeah, me and Mass, we'd known each other 2 years and I didn't meet him, and we went for a charity football game in Newcastle. And I walked past him. I thought he was like on a stag do, like one of them dwarfs handcuffed to someone. He's that small. Literally, I was about to pat him on the head and say, "You okay?" And I realised it was him. And yeah, he's a top lad. Like he's going to be a dad again. He's a good lad. Love Max.
Yeah, there you go. I forget if there's something else that I start. Darren from a little bit earlier. Not sure if you're still around, Darren. Thanks for the question, man. In terms of evening guys, who we've been looking forward to this show. Who's this Jesper Lindstrom, I think you're after? Because obviously we're not going for John Lundstrom at Rangers. 35, 34, used to play for Sheffield United, obviously. Jesper Lindstrom, that's the player I want. Could play off the right. I think also in midfield as well. This kid for Denmark, terrific player. Absolutely terrific player. And also another Eintracht player that I would love to have is Randall Kolomoani. Daichi Kamada is now a free agent, Japanese international. And, in terms of Jesper Lindstrom, a creative outlet, a good finisher inside of the box, composed. I've seen him chip goals over the goalkeeper. In transition, he's deadly. For me, off the right, He worked really well with Kolo Muani at Frankfurt. And when he got injured, actually, towards the latter part of the season for Eintracht, they really suffered in terms of their goal output and whatnot. So I would take Jesper Lindstrom in a heartbeat, most certainly. Are you Americans looking forward to us in the summer series? Yeah. And I'll be doing that with obviously Jay in Atlanta, who was on earlier in the show. And Lee's going to fly over and we're going to, have a hell of a time, I guess. And it's exciting stuff. Some other non-player stuff in terms of the home kit and the away kit. I'll pull up an image real quick of both. But Adam, what do you think of the kits that we have released so far? The two home shirts, or the home shirt and the away.
It's black and white. It's green. It's just more than me, really, to be fair. It's extortionate the price. So I think it's 70 quid for a shirt, but no, it's black and white stripes. The only thing I don't like is the shirt sponsor. I just think it makes it look tacky.
It's better than the Fun 88, though. Surely.
No, the front sponsor's fine. What is it again? It's the Saudi
Stella.
Yeah, but the shoulder one. You know what I mean? The yellow one.
Oh, the noon.
Yeah, it's horrendous. It looks ridiculous. Don't get that, but it brings revenue into the club at the end of the day. It's sponsors. So, to be fair, whatever these owners decide to do, I'll back. So yeah, it's a strip for me.
Fair enough. What about the away shirt? Do you like the away shirt, the green one?
I do. I mean, one of my favourite away shirts, the 95, 96 one. Sam will probably correct us in the comments because I'll be wrong. But the green one with McEwen's on, that's my favourite ever away top.
The early 90s?
I'm sure it was 95,
92, 93.
96.
Okay, mid-90s. Okay.
Tell us I'm wrong, but that's my favourite ever away top. My daughter's just ripped the badge off it, which I'm not happy about. So yeah, going back to that kind of colour, although I know that's not what it's for, it's to represent Saudi Arabia, really.
It's a pretty shirt, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, the average fan is priced out of buying them. We're out getting them.
Yeah, definitely. Now, let me pull up that away shirt for anyone who hasn't seen. I'd be shocked if no one has seen it, but yeah, it's really nice, man. It's really, really nice. I'm quite a fan of it. Yeah, 93, 94. There you go. Yeah, those are nice. I have the blue one, Adam. Do you remember the blue one? The McEwen's? Hold on. Let me find it.
You'll be on all day going through your wardrobe, man. I've got stuff to do.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, this one. This one, baby. Gorgeous.
Do you know what? I'm trying to think of Andy Cole. Andy Cole's the first player who comes to my head when I see that one.
I definitely, yeah. No, I to be honest, I think this is the best home shirt that we've had since I've been supporting. Like, this is my favorite. I like the one from 17-18, like the one with the 125 years. That's a great shirt. This one, though, I just love how black and white it is. Love it. Absolutely love it. But, yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. But what do you like more? What do you like more in terms of the home versus away? Which one do you like more?
It's got to be black and white. It's what Newcastle's about, black and white stripes. So it's always good to, it's nice to see them, a new sponsor, new design. As you say, Funny it didn't really look the best. But yeah, you love a home top. There's nothing more than standing in St James's Park watching them come out in black and white. Even more so when you go away, when you're allowed to wear your home top. It's a proud moment as a fan. Most Newcastle fans go away in the black and white, and I think that's what's when obviously war flags have helped. You go to games now. Even if you go to the Metro Centre now, places like that, loads and loads and loads of fans, middle-aged men, kids, are wearing black and white again. Probably like a lot of my mates who I go to the game with are in the 50s. They remember the Keegan years, and they said, God, you couldn't go through Newcastle Road saying black and white, and now it's starting to turn the same. You go to the Metro Centre, you go through the Newcastle City Centre, it's packed with fellas wearing black and white tops. So it's great to see.
Yeah, definitely, man. Another question here from Inukshuk 67. Is this is this the most prestigious marquee signing, let's say, since Eddie Howe's arrived?
What is he asking about Tonali, or is he asking in general?
Tonali, yeah. Is this the biggest profile?
No, I still think the biggest signing we've ever made is the lad on my top, and I'll speak about him till I'm blue in the face.
Trippier.
Well, if you're talking about ability, Tonali, yeah, possibly.
So in terms of the ability, who we're getting him from, in terms of how important he is to AC Milan and how much he means to Milan fans, they're devastated. They are they're in bits.
If you look at every player we've signed, so Bruno, Leon were very disappointed to lose him.
Yes.
Atletico Madrid were devastated to lose.
Simeone loved him. Yeah.
Trippier. AC Milan are gutted to lose Tonali. Burnley were gutted to lose Chris Wood. So we're signing the right players because otherwise the clubs wouldn't be bothered about losing them. So it's definitely a step in the right direction that we're doing our business properly. Answering the question, is he the most important?
Or the marquee side of it?
It's really difficult because I don't think we've signed him to be a marquee sign. I think we've signed him because we believe he fits into our style of play.
Yeah.
If we wanted a marquee signing, we'd go out and we'd sign a ridiculous player on ridiculous
like Mbappe or something like that, or a Neymar.
Yeah, I mean, I know that stop us signing players like that, but we could easily, like last year, went and wasted money on Jesse Lingard, who brings in followers from his social media. Do you know what I mean?
That's not marquee though, in terms of the player and the ability and the status.
What I mean is in raising the profile of the following of the club. And we've done it the right way for me. So is he? I don't know, possibly, but for me, Kieran Trippier is still the one who started this process. And the Nick Popes, the Brunos, the Dan Burns, the Isaacs, they all followed him, and look where we're at now. So
Botman as well. Botman was someone that AC Milan wanted from Lille as well.
Yeah,
he was a player that definitely and we got him for peanuts, under £30 million. I mean, we could resell him right now to any of the big clubs in the world, really, for quite a bit of dough based off just one year of work under his belt. That's crazy.
I think that's what we've made attractive about the club. The players who've come, the teams that could go and sign for, aren't really bigger, or there's not as much potential now, unless you're going to Madrid, a Barcelona, a Man City, who are the best team in the world. The clubs accept that. Imagine winning a trophy for Newcastle. You're going to go down in history, in folklore. You win a trophy for Man City.
Just like West Ham. West Ham just
forget you in 5 years. They're not fussed. This is how big this next 10 years is for us. I remember going to Wembley this year, and I'll never ever forget that. Even though we got beat, I'll never forget the players who stepped out on that pitch that day. And we were poor.
Shout out to
it's what it means to fans around the region, around the world, like to you. It's not just about like money, and it means so much more.
Yeah, no, for sure. Completely agreed with you, man. Bob with a comment here. Really hope we get a good left back in the door. Teo Hernandez at AC Milan is the dream of his, and if Kieran Tierney can stay fit, would be a great buy. I would love Tierney. I don't know about you, Adam, but like you said, it could be a bit tricky Arsenal in terms of they might sell to us. But having said that, we were talking a little bit earlier, very, very briefly, about Mason Mount going from Chelsea to Manchester United, and then obviously Chelsea also sold Havertz to Arsenal. So it's not, and another one where it's like a rival selling to a rival in terms of Man City got Kovacic off of Chelsea as well. So it is possible in terms of.
I think it's a bit different with Chelsea because their owner will probably be in prison in the next 10 years because it's that illegal what they do in terms of spending money. And so they've had to get a lot off the wage bill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're breaking that many rules. They've got to show they're doing something. So it's very different in terms of that. Kieran Tierney, it'd be great to have. I've got real questions over his fitness. I really don't want us to go back to the days of signing players who barely kick a ball. That's me only.
Yeah, because we've gotten burned for that in the past.
Yeah. That's me only issue with Tierney.
Fair enough. I think you froze for a minute, but I'll carry it for a minute. As you say, Adam, we will win a trophy in the future. I do believe the way we're going. Absolutely. It looks super, super promising. My biggest worry, though, is that, are you back, Adam?
I'm back, mate. I don't know if that was me.
Yeah, you just froze out for a sec. No worries. In terms of the trophy comment, my thing is I've seen great teams. I've seen great teams in terms of they played good football. One that immediately comes to mind is a few years ago when Tottenham had that great team, Kane, Sissoko, Dembele, Son, Dele Alli. 2016.
How do we? Sissoko's never been. Come on.
Tottenham. No, Adam. I'm talking about when Tottenham were challenging for the league. The year Leicester won.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Sissoko in that. Lazy git.
No, Sissoko was a part of that team.
Yeah,
starting for them.
Still a Judas.
Yeah, I know. But anyways, it's Vertonghen and the other Belgian lad, Alderweireld. That team was very good, but they never got it over the line. They never got a trophy, so it's always like a what if, and now Spurs have to rebuild. I don't want to be that team where it's like we had a few, and I don't think PIF is going away anytime soon. But I'm talking about these group of players. I want to see these group of players, this core that we have, the Longstaff, Pope, Cher's going to be out the door probably in 2-3 years. Who knows? I want to see Trippier lift silverware with us. In terms of this squad, this team, we've shown under Eddie Howe that we're a really, really good side. I just want to get that over the line before I move into this next phase of Newcastle where we're buying some superstars and then the academy improves. I want to see this group of players, Wilson as well, ASM, Miggy. I'd love to see us get a trophy over the line because we're almost there. We're almost there with the Carabao Cup final. So close. I want to see this group. I don't want this to be a what if or how did it.
I agree to a sense, but these players will only be here 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I've had a season ticket.
Outside of your Isaks and Botmans in theory, Bruno.
But even them could leave. I've seen players who I thought were committed to the club leave. I've had a season ticket 22 years. I couldn't give it a toss.
Andy Cole left.
I just want to see Newcastle be a sustainable, successful club. We don't have to win the league every year. It'd be nice to compete. Don't have to be in the Champions League. That's what my main worry is for next season, fans' expectations. If we're 10th after 15, 16 games, will the fans all of a sudden start turning on Eddie Howe? I've seen it before. It happened to Bobby Robson. All the fans love Bobby Robson, but the fans did turn on Bobby Robson, if you remember way back then. So it can happen. It can be a fickle fan base up in the North East, Newcastle, Sunderland, all them teams. Because we crave success, our opinions can quickly change based on a couple of results. And that's my main worry for next season, is that the atmosphere could quickly change if it's not. I mean, don't get us wrong, we've just had one of the best seasons we've ever had. Yeah. It's not always going to be like that. It isn't. So we need that's why we need the fans. Said in my Tonali video when we did it, we need the fans more than ever to stick with the club this season. And I mean that because if we turn on Eddie Howe, the next manager won't be successful and we'll end up doing just sacking manager after manager because these won't mess around PIF. Yeah. And I honestly think Eddie Howe could be our Alex Ferguson if we give him the right time and the right players.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I just want to see us succeed. If we go down the route of a manager's only in for 3 seasons, but he wins us let's say a Europa League and a Premier League, or you could switch out with the FA Cup, but then he gets out. For me, as long as we're winning and as long as we're very, very competitive, as long as the club is showing clear ambition, which I haven't questioned for a second under PIF. So, I mean, for me, I'm already set. In terms of just Eddie Howe, I think he'll be here for quite a while. And I think the fans, I do agree. Football fans are fickle. I think there is a part of it where it's like, I think fans are so fickle. For me, one thing that really stands out is I think the reason why fans are a bit more fickle nowadays, possibly than back then, is the prices. The prices. I mean, if you're Lee, let's look at Lee. Lee spends loads and loads and loads of money every single year supporting Newcastle. Season ticket, that's a few £100. Going to every away match, that's money. Take time off of work, concessions, finding a place to stay. I know he'll sleep in his car sometimes. I mean, for 3 games, to see Newcastle in the States, that's like $2,000. I mean, that's 5 flights. That's 2-3 hotels. So I think that's also why, because the prices have gone up on supporting your club and whatnot, and the kits obviously I've spent loads of money on that. So I think maybe that's part of it. But yeah,
I think when you see the uproar when they announced the season ticket prices going up and Champions League tickets are £55.
Right. Yeah.
It's what, unfortunately, if you want success, you will end up paying more. You will end up paying more money. I'm not made of money. I think it goes out tomorrow. Anyone who's watching, if you make sure you got money in the bank, your first Champions League ticket goes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but that's the price you pay. You love your club.
Yeah.
I've got this club tattooed all over my body. I love the club. So unfortunately, I will make sacrifices.
Yeah.
With the exception of my family to pay to go and watch Newcastle United. Sorry, mate. I've just seen you come in. I'll let Steve crack on.
No, that's all right. You're good. You're good. What's up, Ryan, by the way, from Canada, my guy? What's going on, man? Before I get your opinion on a few things, Mike, with a great comment, he also supports Hibernian up in Scotland. Yes, I agree, Steve. Yes, I want a trophy with this group of players specifically. Get a trophy and it'll be amazing. I support Hibs up here. It took us 114 years to win the Scottish Cup, and I didn't think it. And that's a great example. That group of Hibs players will be remembered forever, because once in 114 years, that's a lifetime thing. That's a once in a lifetime thing. So there is some special part of it. But in terms of Tonali and a few other things, Ryan, my guy from Canada, what do you make of the signing and whatnot? And just overall,
I think Tonali's pretty good. I think,
yeah,
I remember following him on Instagram, like back when he joined Milan, and like I thought it was exciting because it was this young, exciting kid that's my age.
Yeah, from Brescia.
Gonna like tear it up for Milan, and like I would have never thought we would have got him, but I guess we are, and like I think he's gonna be good, like super good in our midfield.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's gotta wait and see how he until like he plays. Sorry, because I think when I have seen him play for Milan in Serie A, like he's not really much of a goal person, but like he just likes to recycle play and makes it easier for the team to do everything. So
it's very intense.
He's not the flashiest player either. Like it's just it's not some guy with a skin fade or anything. It's just some guy like a normal Italian kid. I think he's coming in like you hear all about his hunger with Milan too. Like he's not much of a social or guy that's on social media a lot. So like I think in terms of attributes too, we got the right guy and
character.
Yeah. So
does it not worry you how slow the Italian game is compared to how it will be in the Premier League?
Ryan, you answer that. You go for it.
I don't think it's too slow at all. I think it's pretty competitive in Italy as well. I don't think it used to be like what English people think that Italy is 20 years ago, where it's all defensive and stuff. I think Italy's kind of evolved with the modern day game.
Yeah.
I think with Tonali as well, you could see people like Milan fans crying about it too, but it's why don't you do something that's more of the ownership part of them. I think we prize the jewel away from them, but imagine if they lose Leao or something like that.
Mignon, Teo Hernandez, Tomori, Benacer.
Yeah, I think some people are pissed off at the ownership there too. So it's demand more from your ownership there.
Yeah. No, they ain't happy.
It is what it is. Yeah.
In terms of the pace of game, Adam, I think that's a great point, because it isn't as intense in Serie A in terms of just the back and forth. In Liga in France, it's more kind of a back and forth and a physicality thing. For me with Tonali, I don't worry about that, because he's got a good footballing brain and he makes quick decisions. And I don't really worry about that with him also, because if you look at a Guimaraes as well, a lot of the times he'll get the ball in positions and he'll be under pressure. He'll have 2 or 3 guys swarming him, and he makes a correct decision in terms of laying it off backwards, forwards, share, He'll find Dan Burn with a vertical to the side.
There won't be 3 more guys on Guimaraes anymore.
Exactly, because Tonali can offer that long ball over the top. He's also a good, medium range passer, short pass. And getting forward, he is a box to box as well. So I don't really worry about the pace of play necessarily. It's a good point. It's a good point though.
So you two lads have watched Tonali a lot more than I have, and there's probably some people watching or rewatch who haven't watched Tonali as well. Yeah. So from each of you, what is the main thing we can look forward to seeing from him? Steve, you first.
Energy and quality on the ball. The energy in terms of, like I said, he's got a footballing brain, makes quick decisions. He's super, super intense. Like when he plays, he doesn't go missing in games very often. In the derby against Milan, he was in Denzel Dumfries' face, screaming, shouting, just like how when we would play at Manchester United or whoever, Bruno would get involved, Joe Ellington. Like he fits that kind of like an alpha male personality. The personality for me. And just I don't know if you remember like a Gennaro Gattuso. That's the kind of player where it's like he's a pit bull. He's a guy you don't want to mess around with. He just leaves it all on the pitch, and that fits exactly with our team because that's what all of our starting 11 does. They leave it all out on the pitch. Competitive intensity is our identity, which Eddie Howe has plastered on the training pitch and all that. So I think that would be the biggest quality. He gets tackles, pressure. He just brings a physical. Physically, he's very, very gifted in terms of like he's just not a guy. He's not fun to play against. That's how I summarize him, and that's how I can summarize Joe Ellington. Teams don't want to play us. He's not an easy player to play against.
I think he's got the mix of an old school and modern day kind of player. I find.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's the answer I was after, Steve. Just a quick, simple answer.
The only thing for me is I kind of hope he just takes the number 8 because it looked better than. I think it looks weird to have a winger have number 8. So like Matt Ritchie, like I think we're all assuming he's gone. I'd rather Anthony Gordon or like Almiron takes number 11 and then he takes number 8 like he had at Milan. Like it just it fits better.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Good times ahead.
Yeah, good comment here from JB as well. Bruno and Tonali are both very smart under pressure.
Bruno's Bruno's one of the best I've ever seen when he's got 2-3 around him just to still release the ball. So
he's gone out of such sticky situations with ease.
It's not like he's doing Zidane pirouettes or whatever. It's not like he can be flashy. I've seen it. But it's the simplicity. The simplicity. One touch and he'll just evade.
The thing with Bruno is he could have easily missed the last 6 weeks of the season because he was absolutely knackered. His ankle was fucked.
That's where our problem was. I'm glad we addressed.
He was so injured, and you could see he wasn't his same level. Don't get me wrong, but his heart was always there, and he could have easily sat that last 6 weeks of the season out easily, but he didn't. He wanted to be there to get us where we did.
Yeah, I remember.
It's too important to leave out at the time.
Yeah.
Was that the game against Arsenal where he got a bit dinged up?
Yeah,
a home game.
I think so. I think it was a stupid yellow card, and then
right.
I think it kind of. Yeah, it wasn't the same the last month or so, but
no.
I mean, when you got 4 midfielders towards the end of the season, we had so much like the midfield did so well to actually hold themselves because I was so worried. Like we sold Shelby and we didn't replace him. I don't think Eddie Howe was going to trust Elliot Anderson to start, so he had Willock, Joe Linton, Sean Longstaff, and Bruno in a 4-3-3. Like only one could come in unless you like tinker the whole formation, like play 2 midfielders or something. But
could 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, it worked just in time. Like we beat Leicester, and then like it just didn't matter against Chelsea at all.
Yeah. Yeah, or no, we drew with Leicester. No, we beat them in the away.
It was enough. It was enough to complete the objective, I guess.
The Champions League. Yeah. In terms of something else that Adam, we were talking about subjects earlier backstage, left back and center back cover. What are your thoughts on this? I'll start off with you, Adam, first. In terms of, we talked a little bit about left back, some options that people were saying like a Teo Hernandez, at AC Milan, possibly, or Chilwell at Chelsea, or Tierney. So center back.
I think we could name player after player, to be honest. I think Emil Kraft's not good enough. Javier Manquillo's not good enough.
Agreed.
So then we've got the young lad who we got from West Ham. Sorry, his name's gone.
Ashby.
I've not really seen enough of him. So you're not really talking left back. You're talking the full back four in terms of cover. Is the back four we've got good enough? Yes, Dan Burn, possibly his pace doesn't let us down, but is an issue. Jamal
the attacking emphasis of Dan Burn is the issue. Yeah.
Jamal Lascelles, love him and love how he clearly cares about the club, or he could have left. The only thing with Lascelles is he should be banging on the England door, and he's not. He's sat on the bench for Newcastle. So for his own career, he really needs to move on, unless he wants to sit on the bench for the rest of his career, because he's not going to get ahead of Shaw Botman. No. And then we need cover for them. I mean, if Shaw got injured, who comes in? Lascelles.
That's why we need a right-sided center back, I think.
Yeah, there's not really a lot.
For me, my number one would probably be Christian Romero, but a lot of people disagree because he's like a hothead. But I think you put him in a better team. You give him a coach that gives him like confidence, and I think we got a player in him. And he's got shades of Shar's game with his long balls. Guy won a World Cup. And also, like, the whole point of this PIF project is to win everything. We're trying to copy what Man City are doing. We can't have this mentality of, top four every single season. The chairman literally came out last week in the interview saying the goal is to be number one.
Yeah, which I love.
So, I think all our fans need to have that mentality.
Yeah, exactly, man. For me, like it's all about winning, and if you bring the energy, we know the guys will bring it. As long as they give everything, and we do everything we can, both the club and the players. That's all I can really ask for. And eventually we will get there, you think? But yeah.
Football's not that simple. I agree in terms of long term. Yes, we'd love to be number one.
Yeah.
But in terms of next season, the season after, we're nowhere near that. You know, Chelsea are going to be firing next season. Liverpool are going to be firing next season. Arsenal are going to be firing. Tottenham can't get any worse than they were.
Write them off. Just write off Tottenham.
Well,
Tottenham are in a real bad.
I don't take Tottenham seriously at all.
Yeah. But my point being, we finished fourth this season. Yes, because we played really well. But let's not get away from the fact how poor Liverpool were, how poor Chelsea were.
Yeah.
They are not going to be as bad next season, and that's where we're going to see a massive test of our manager and of our players
while playing Champions League as well.
People can disagree with me, but I think getting to the cup final was more. What's the word?
Significant?
Like it was more significant, and like it meant more than top four to me because it was a cup, and like we had a chance to
win a trophy.
It just meant we compete. Like my point is that like I don't want to stagnate and just be like, because I think people say top four is like a safeguard or like a stopgap almost. Like you. I think fans are kind of worried about like, we don't want to become like Everton, but like we're the farthest thing around that. 80 to 90% of the signings have been bang on. You just got to keep going on about that. Like, but you do got to look at the rivals too. Like, I think Liverpool, they're going to be back next season for sure. Like,
they've got a midfield now. They just need one more over the line.
And McAllister, like, it's serious. And like what Chelsea are doing, you can't write them off either. Like, people could banter them all they want because they're going gun ho with like selling all their players right away, and like, but they're properly rebuilding. And like Arsenal are going to come again after their title challenge. Man City, we already know what they're like.
They're going to win the league, so I mean that's
It's a good position to be in, though. I'd rather be up there than sat around bloody Burnley and Bournemouth and like we were years ago. So
Southampton and shit. Yeah, absolutely. In terms of, here's my big thing.
Yes, I agree with this comment.
Like you said, Adam, if Trippier goes down, then we're either throwing in the young lad, Ashby, who's 19, 20 years old, completely inexperienced, played like a Conference League game or two for West Ham last year. That's all his pro experience. I don't think Manquillo or Kraft are good enough for this level. For me, a backup right back is a huge priority as well, because Trippier can't play every week. He is 32 now.
I think, as I mentioned before, I don't think we need to speak about it much. I think the full back four need cover. Shaw goes down every game for a few minutes. You're always on edge about Fabian Shaw. He's had some bad injuries.
Yeah.
Botman seems pretty fit, but again, he looked very leggy towards the end of the season. Dan Burns, Dan Burns as fit as it gets, but I worry about his pace.
Yeah.
Matt Targett, I worry about how much game time he's had. So I think the whole back four needs cover and decent cover. I'm not going to sit here and say we should get this player, that player, because I really trust our back four.
Yeah.
It's the best back four I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah.
But we do need cover, simple as.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of we'll go to left back real quick, Ryan, and then probably wrap up in a few minutes. But
Sure.
The left back, who would you like to see us bring in or target in terms of not literally target, in terms of like a Tierney or a Teo Hernandez or someone else possibly?
I think
Milos Kerkesh and outside Alkmaar, I'm really, really high on.
I think Kieran Tierney would be number one for me. Like,
yeah.
Just he's been a bit unlucky at Arsenal, not even just through injury, but I think since Zinchenko came in, like I don't think Arteta really like. There's times like
the way he plays, and
I think there's times where like they need like a left back just to cover in like certain games, like they're put in certain situations.
That's a good point.
And I think Tierney is like the one guy you'd say, oh, he should come on for Arsenal, but he doesn't. And we're just buying another character, to be honest. Like, if you guys ever seen Kieran Tierney talk, like he's got winning mentality as well. Like, he's not a flashy guy.
Captain Celtic to a treble.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's not a big head on social media. He doesn't wear his Prada or Gucci. Like he brings like his grocery bag of like boots and stuff. Like
he's a down to earth kind of lad.
He's down to earth and like
Scotsman.
I think we buy him and we could sign him up as captain. And I think that goes to me for Trippier as well, because like I think our captains now are Trippier, Lascelles, Dummett, Richie. How many of them actually played like
Dummett doesn't, Richie doesn't. Richie started one game.
The three of them have a combined of like a few hundred minutes, not even, and then Trippier's got like 2,000 something minutes. So
I think
we got to sort that out, the captains next season, and like I don't really know who I'd put.
I think it's important to remember when I get your point in terms of game time and captains, but it's not necessarily about captains on the pitch. When you have a squad like we do, and whether you're playing Sunday League, Saturday League, Premier League, you need a good atmosphere in the dressing room.
A club captain.
And I think that's why Matt Ritchie, Lascelles, Dummett, and Dan Burn have got the new deals to have, because Eddie Howe doesn't want to lose that camaraderie behind the scenes. It is a really, really.
That's one person I put as captain is Dan Burn, actually.
Yeah, we've got the best atmosphere at the club, probably since the Keegan years. You know, there's no Walter Mitty's in there. There's no one disrupting the dressing room, and that's so important to have. I remember when Anthony Gordon got took off against. Can't remember. He got took off against someone. His dummy came straight out.
Later in the year, yeah.
Matt Ritchie got his arm straight around him and took him and had a word with him, and that is what you need. Yes, Matt Ritchie's football has gone from the club. He'll be a legend of the club and how he got us back up. But people like that in the dressing room are so important. I can't, you could sign a worldie and he could be an absolute bellend in the dressing room and bring everyone down. Or you could have a Matt Ritchie who keeps everyone level-headed, who tells everyone what Newcastle United's about. Any player who comes in now has to have a presentation about Newcastle, about the fans. It's not just the eyes signing there. They sell the club to them. And when they get in the dressing room, it's about keeping their heads level. So,
yeah, completely agreed. I would love a Estupinian from Brighton, the Ecuadorian left back. I think that'd be a terrific. He was one of the best left backs in the Premier League last season, and the season before that, he was also coming to really, really show his talent. Love a signing like that. Yeah, perfectly fine. What do you think of this, Ryan, from Vincent? Do you guys think saint-maximin should go, since we're being linked with Javi Barnes? Ryan, go for it first, bro.
Not for me, because I feel like it's more just about the squad. I think left wing's just been it's been altered all throughout the season.
Yeah.
But the only really natural one you kind of say is probably Joe Linton and Saint-Maximin. But I think Joe Linton is more preferred as a left center midfielder.
Yeah.
So if we got Barnes, I think it just means competition for ASM. But you're telling me just to get ASM, get rid of him straight out? No, because
I like him off the bench.
Unless we did a deal with Milan again where he told me 40 million plus Rafael Leao, or we got Vinicius Jr. But that'll never happen, in my opinion. I'll say right now, for me, the whole Champions League attracting the best players it's a complete myth for me. I think I just don't agree with it, and I like some people say it is a thing, but if that's the case by that logic, we should be going in for Mbappe or like Vinicius Jr. All these players.
The creme de la creme.
And then when you say that to people, they're like, "Oh no, we can't afford them or wages," but you're the same guy telling me that we can attract the best players through Champions League, so it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just that like dribbling threat too. Like, we get out like. We're putting, or how do I say, like, when we have the ball, we're in good situations just because of his dribbling. Like, you're going to replace him with someone else that dribbles past the player once a game. Like, that's not what it is. Like, you gotta have a direct replacement, not just left winger for left winger.
Yeah, fair enough.
And plus, like, we're gonna play more games next season too. So
yeah. What do you think, Adam, about the ASM thing? Would you keep him, or if Milan came in for an offer? Would you sell?
Honestly, all these fans who think we should get rid of ASM should go and watch Sunderland, who get hard over watching Luke O'Nien, because he's such a game changer. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't understand why any Newcastle fan would watch and say we're a better squad without him. I will never ever get that argument. Yeah, do I question his ability at times in his final ball? Of course, he should be better final ball. I'm sure he knows that. The comment there, he's got a point to prove this year. Completely agree with.
Yeah.
But anyone who says we should sell him, when considering we've got a Champions League campaign going up, absolutely ridiculous. Just go and support another club, honestly, because you don't want what's best for the club if you want an ASM out the door, because he's great for the community, he's great for the fans, he takes time for the younger fans, and yes, he is frustrating on the pitch, but so can other.
As long as he's a good influence around the dressing room and he performs, that's all I really.
But the thing is with that, Steve, and that's what annoys me. You're always going to have people who are in the huff when they're not playing. Like, people say, "Oh, he's better coming off the bench." That's up to the manager, and we've got a really good man manager.
Yeah.
So if ASM's not happy about coming on the bench, we've got Jason Tindall, we've got Eddie Howe, we've got Graham Jones, who bring him back down to level to say, "Actually, you're doing what's best for the team."
Yeah.
And if ASM doesn't like that, then he can submit a transfer request. It doesn't mean he doesn't love Newcastle. It means he wants to play week in, week out.
Because he's looking out for himself as well.
I've said in the video before, we've got the Euros coming up. He wants to play for France. And unfortunately, we're not going to guarantee him first-team football. He deserves to go and play it. And that's up to Eddie Howe. So do I want him out of the club? Of course I don't. But he needs to do what's best for himself.
Yes.
And work really hard to get back in the team, because we've got Isaac can play off the left. We've got Miggy who's playing well. We're probably going to sign another.
Jacob Murphy as well.
Jacob Murphy, well,
I mean, he played a part last year in terms of
in terms of ASM. If he wants to work hard and play for Newcastle, the ball's in his court.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
I think for me, people are mentioning ASM's name because he's literally the only sellable asset people are thinking in our team. Because you look at players like Ryan Fraser, Jamal Lewis,
how much are we going to sell him for?
Lascelles, we're fuck all, but they're on high wages, so we can't get rid of them.
How much are we realistically going to sell ASM for? He's going to go for no more than 20 million. There's no one going to pay more than 20 million for him. So, as the lad said, what's saleable of him? There's nothing to sell him for.
Yeah, because so you can't go to AC Milan and be like, hey, we have this winger that has scored 10 and 10 over his whole career at Newcastle.
You're not going to sell ASM for 20 million and buy Harvey Barnes for 60 million. It makes no sense.
I wouldn't pay 60.
It winds me up how many YouTube, and I'm not meaning you, how much of a debate it is. The simple fact is he stays at the club.
Yeah, for me, we gotta get rid of players like Ryan Fraser before and even thinking about ASM.
Yeah. No, definitely. ASM is a belter on and off the pitch. Didn't want him to go and mess. Yeah. No, I would keep him around. I would definitely.
I like how you tried to say it in the accent, to be fair to you.
ASM is a belter on and off the pitch. Didn't want him to go and mess. I don't know. You pronounce it, Gordy. Go for it.
Didn't want him to go myself.
Which means?
Myself. I don't want him to go myself.
Oh, okay. So you're saying I don't. Okay, all right. Fair enough. All right. Fair enough. Hey, go on, Adam. Lee will teach me some more fluent Geordie when we hang out during the friendlies in the U.S. Even in all, just seeing the show, notifications not working, just YouTube being wankers again, I guess. It happens, man. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to talk about, Ryan, in terms of what's going on with Newcastle lately or whatever? Any other thoughts that you wanted to share, my friend? Make sure you're smashing the likes, by the way, people subbing.
I don't know. I guess just for me personally, like I delete like a bit of my social media just so like I don't get tied up in these Twitter because no one knows what's going on.
Yeah,
I'd rather just like be totally surprised and like see like, oh, we've signed a player. Like,
yeah,
I'm sick of articles saying we're in for a player. Like,
I know, right?
I came off Twitter about 6-7 months ago.
I didn't delete my account. I just deleted the app. Like, I go on my computer sometimes.
There's not a happy Newcastle fan on Twitter. There's not a happy we could win 6-0 and you'd still have Twitter meltdown. So I honestly wouldn't waste my time with the app. Go to Newcastle Fan TV on Facebook, and then.
Yeah, I think places like Reddit and Discord where you actually go to chat with proper people. Like you go on Twitter, it's you just tell by the vocabulary. Like it's all robotic and like it's the same thing. And like you see articles, oh, we're linked with this player, and like there's a big like buzzword with the red siren emoji. It's like I'm not reading that, man.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I love Gonzalo Ramos, which go for Jesper Lindstrom. Ooh. I do like Gonzalo Ramos. I don't think we need a striker necessarily, although Lee on the channel thinks we do need a backup striker. I actually don't mind that if we got a third choice, because if you think about it, Alexander Isak, I looked at his injury record. He hasn't played more than 26 league matches in his career for either Real Sociedad, AIK, in Sweden or at Borussia Dortmund. So to be fair, that is a good point. And Callum Wilson obviously has had some injury problems with his.
I'm with that. The problem I think is that
it's hard to find that kind of striker.
It's hard to find a third choice striker because if they're really good,
mine would have been Dzeko, but Dzeko's off to Saudi. Or sorry,
one of the worst ever strikers we ever had. Hosselu's playing for Real Madrid now.
I was about to say, as third choice striker, I don't think I would have mind, but like, I think at the top.
Gordon next season for me. And Gordon will be playing as a false 9, so I wouldn't worry too much about it because he's
Gordon false 9. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Fair enough. All right, cool. Anything else you want to talk about, Ryan or Adam, or is that
No, I just appreciate everyone watching, and I say just smash the like button, follow Newcastle Fans TV, and please join in next time. We'll try and do more of this a bit more often, get some more of the lads on. I know Lee's very, wants us to do more live shows, stuff like that. We appreciate everyone who's joined in, and been great.
Good show, people. Ryan, anything from your end, brother?
No, just for me, if you take away the linked players, like for me, I'd take Romero and Tierney as our the big signs I want next, and maybe another midfielder, I think, and then like I'd be more comfortable and more confident.
And then a signing for the back four, for either a backup or someone to challenge.
Yeah,
that'd be important for me too. But yeah, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Anyways, like Adam said, smash the like, subscribe, become a member of the channel for only 99 pence as well. Greenwood and Mulliner show, please check that out. That's one of the perks with the membership. Obviously, you get to have a little bit of a preview. Adam shaking his head because
I'm only joking. They're the best out there.
They are. Hey, they're fantastic.
I'm sleeping in the same bed as both of them on Saturday night. We're going to Liam's wedding, so I'm staying topping and tailing with them.
Nice. But yeah, take care, people. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Anyways, ta-da.